April 23rd, the Podcast Summit 2026 tour that was held here in Augusta, Georgia, was a resounding, phenomenal success. There are more words that can describe that experience, and so many of you have so many things to say. I just wanted to let you know, and this is for David Shands, for giving me an opportunity to be able to put this and partner with you, him, to make this thing happen. It was just a wonderful experience. From January 20th, when David Shands and I first had a conversation about making Augusta as one of 8 city tour stops. January 20th, 2023. That's when it all started.
Hi, I'm Helen Blocker Adams, host of Reset to Reinvent podcast.
And I'm Vanessa, CEO of Talent Connect.
We have connected our talent as women entrepreneurs, and I am pleased to announce Talent Connect as a founding sponsor for our popular podcast.
For any of your staffing, payroll, or other business services needs, be sure to check out our website at talentconnectga.net. That's talentconnectga.net.
And don't forget to subscribe to our popular YouTube channel, Reset to Reinvent YouTube channel.
Hello, and welcome to episode 59 of Reset to Reinvent podcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams, and if it looks like I'm still glowing, afterglow from this wonderful, incredible, phenomenal, successful podcast summit tour that we had here in Augusta, Georgia on Thursday, April the 23rd, you would be right. Yes, the afterglow is still here, and I am still excited as I record this episode. And what I'm going to do for those of you who didn't get a chance to go, for one reason or another, especially if you're in the Augusta CSRA area and within a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour driving radius, I'm sorry you weren't there. But I tell you what, if you're Facebook friends of mine, certainly you have seen the buzz. I mean, it has been buzzing. Different people making, they have video clips and pictures and comments and all of the accolades from this event. And this was David Shands' podcast tour summit here in Augusta, Georgia. And we were just so blessed to be able to present this to the wonderful folks here in Augusta, Georgia. And I'm just thrilled. So one of the things that I wanted to do for this episode is share a little bit about the experience. And then what I'm going to do is give you some nuggets, some information that can be used. Let's just say if you want to create an event, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a business, I've got some goodies for you today. And then I'm going to share with you a special offer that I have for those of you who are our viewers and for those who attended the podcast. Episode 59, I'm just so excited. The month of April, we are wrapping up the month of April, second chance month. We've had phenomenal guests. We've had phenomenal information. I want to encourage you to give people a second chance. Give yourself a second chance, or better yet, give yourself another chance, because most of us have stubbed our toe and done something that we weren't supposed to do, and then we've got repercussions from that, and there's some of us who have done some things we probably should have been arrested for, but we didn't get caught. Okay. And unfortunately, some people have gotten caught and they've been incarcerated, but they deserve a second chance once they have served their time. Wouldn't you agree? I think you would agree. So we're wrapping up the month of April, second chance month. And if you haven't had a chance to listen or watch any of our episodes during this month of April, I encourage you to go back, go to our YouTube channel, Reset to Reinvent YouTube channel, and check out the episode episodes from this month of April. Powerful, powerful messages, powerful information that I'm just so glad to be able to share. And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that too. And that way you'll get the notifications every Monday morning so that you don't have to worry about trying to find it or search for it. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want to share with you guys, April 23rd, the Podcast Summit 2026 tour that was held here in Augusta, Georgia, was a resounding, phenomenal success. There is no other words that can describe, well, there are more words that can describe that experience. And so many of you have so many things to say. I just wanted to let you know, and this is for David Shands, for giving me an opportunity to be able to put this and partner with him, to make this thing happen. It was just a wonderful experience. From January 20th, when David Shands and I first had a conversation about making Augusta as one of 8 city tour stops. January 20th, 2023. That's when it all started. I mean, and I've got the notepad, and if you could see the date on here, the notepad to give you evidence. Okay. So basically 90 days, we were able to put together a successful event that attracted 200 plus people. Let me give you some stats. From this. We had a little over 200 people. We had to turn people away. I mean, we had to turn people away. The last numbers that I heard, we had to turn away 40 to 50 people, okay, from this particular event. Now, and the reason why, it was located at the Kroc Center here in Augusta, which is a huge facility, but that night they happened to have 4 events going on. So with 4 events going on, different events in this whole facility, all the chairs were used up. So we couldn't even pull chairs or open up another room because everything was taken. Okay. So it was standing room only, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. So 200 plus people, standing room only, and the people included podcasters, content creators, writers, musicians, pastors, well-wishers, people who came because they were curious, people who came because they just wanted to be in the room, entrepreneurs, young, old, white, Black, Hispanic, and everybody in between. Anybody that I missed, they were there in the room, let me tell you, for this Podcast Summit tour that was held in Augusta, Georgia. And so January 20th, 2026 through April 23rd, 2026, we're looking at about a 90-day. It was a 90-day game plan, a 90-day strategy that allowed us to put together this phenomenal event. And so what I wanted to do, because we got so much positive feedback, so many people that were like, wow, how did you do that? How did you make that happen? What did you do? And da 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 da. And so I said, you know what? Here's what God gave me. God gave me a title for this particular episode. And then he also gave me another idea that can be able to help many of you who have thought about, whether you've thought about starting a podcast, starting a business, or have a project at your church or organization that you need to put together. There's strategies that are very instrumental in being able to happen in order to make something successful happen. It doesn't just happen just in a willy-nilly way. Okay, there are steps. There are strategies that you can use to have a successful event. And because we've got a proven successful event, God said, you know what? You need to go ahead and put this as part of your episode for this last episode for the month of April. And you know what we're going to do? I'm going to create an ebook. And this ebook is going to be made available this week for you. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. If you want to get a copy of this ebook, and it's going to be a special price for you and you and you, just send me an email right now to reset to reinvent at gmail.com and go ahead and just we want to put you on the list, okay, and you'll be one of the first. You'll be the first to be able to get information on this that we're putting together literally as we speak. Reset to reinvent at gmail.com. Okay, sending me that and say, hey, look, I want to get a copy of that ebook, and we've got some other goodies that we're putting in this package just for you. So God gave me this. He gave me this. Elevate your next project. 8 proven strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour in Augusta. Elevate your next project. And that project can be anything. Okay, if you think about it, anything, because when you think about a project, there's always steps. You've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this, you've got to do that to be able to make that happen. And so I'm going to give you some tips that's going to be helpful for you. But this episode and the name of the ebook is Elevate Your Next Project. 8 proven strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour in Augusta. But some of you may realize that there's that 8 is my favorite number. And you notice I've got that 8 proven strategies, right? Okay. I've got books and other ebooks, and the number 8 is significant in there. But you know what I thought about? As I went and looked back to the 8 cities that David Shands' podcast tour was held and will be held. It was 8 cities. Oh my goodness. 8 cities, the number 8. Okay, we were one of 8 cities. So I'm going to share with you the 8 cities that 3 of them have already occurred, and there's 5 more to come. Okay, Birmingham, Alabama was the first. Cleveland, Ohio was the second. Augusta, GA was the third. Very successful. Now, the others were successful as well, but I can only share with you what we did, me and my podcast team put together here in Augusta. And those of you who were there, you already know. You already know how successful it was. The 4th one is going to be in Toronto, Canada, Dallas, Texas, Buffalo, New York, Chicago, Illinois, and then they're going to wrap up the Podcast Summit Tour in Los Angeles, California. So 8 cities, Podcast Tour Summit. I just thought that was kind of cool. Okay. So I want to share with you just a couple of things about the significance of the number 8. Okay. And what the number 8 symbolizes. And I want you to think about this. Okay. I want you to think about this. So the number 8 symbolizes power. It symbolizes material mastery. Think about it. If you do something over and over and over again, and you follow a system, you follow a formula, you follow a framework, some of the things that were talked about at the podcast summit, David Shands and Donnie Wiggins, those 2 are a power pair, a power business partner pair that shared with us so many nuggets that will just make your head spin. And it doesn't matter. It didn't matter if you have a podcast or you're thinking about a podcast, because the information that was shared was so relevant to life, business, personal, professional. It was so good. So good. So when we think about mastery, material mastery, success, financial abundance, all of those words that I just shared symbolizes the number 8. The number 8 symbolizes power, material mastery, success, and financial abundance. And let me give you the biblical significance, and then I'm going to go into some 8 strategies for you this morning. Okay, the biblical uh, significance symbolizes the number 8, symbolizes resurrection and regeneration. Okay, think about reset to reinvent, reset to reinvent, having to start over, starting new, starting something new. You may have a new project or a new business, and some of you who were at our podcast summit tour didn't have a clue that you were going to even consider starting a podcast. And I've been getting emails and messages and text messages saying, Helen, you know what? I think I want to start my own podcast. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Calm down, Helen. Okay. Biblical significance symbolizes resurrection and regeneration. This is the number 8, the new beginning or new order after the 7-day completion of the world. Okay. 8 people were saved on Noah's Ark, and Jesus' resurrection took place on the 8th day. Okay, so there's so much that you can go into, that I can go into, and actually earlier episodes, I think I talked in depth about the number 8, but I just wanted you to see the significance of the fact that, this episode, we're calling this episode Elevate Your Next Project, 8 Proven Strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour here in Augusta. Okay. And the fact that David Shands came up with, for the Podcast Summit Tour stops, 8 cities. I mean, there's some significance there. Now, I don't know what all of the all the ramifications of what that all means, but it means something. Okay. And one of the things that I want to talk about. Okay, so here we go. Here, and while I am before I get started with my 8 proven strategies, what I do want to say is I just want to thank, and I can't name them all here. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you're going to see my thanks. Our sponsor, our vendors, the people who purchased VIP tickets, the people who bought the second level $25 tickets, the people who did the general admission. I just want to thank all of you for coming. And then, of course, the Reset to Reinvent podcast team. My goodness, those ladies right there. I just love them. They are just amazing. I just can't say enough. Okay, so I'm going to get mushy here. So I'm going to keep moving on. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. So let's talk a little bit. So what I want to do is just give you some tidbits of what we did to make this a success. Now, I'm going to share with you, I'm going to give you the 8, and I may just kind of move around, because what I'm doing is all of this is inspired by what we did in putting together our successful podcast event. And I want to show you notes. I'm old school, okay? I am old school. So we got notes and notes here in my pad here. I've got notes and notes in this pad. I've got notes and notes from here. You see this? I mean, list of name, and then the podcast. So all of these, I'm old school. A lot of people, some of it is done. And thank goodness to my producer. She knows how to keep stuff all in an Excel spreadsheet and all that stuff. She does all of that for me. But I do want to say that there was a strategy. There was a real strategy in how we were able to make this a phenomenal event. So what I do want to remind you, if you want to get a copy of this ebook that we are putting together as we speak, and it's going to be available this week, okay? It's going to be available this week. It's going to be discounted, but send me an email to reset to reinvent at gmail.com and say, hey, Helen, send me an information. I want my copy. Okay. Elevate your next project. 8 proven strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour here in Augusta. Number 1, talk to and listen to God first. Number 2, set goals. Number 3, build a loyal team. Number 4, be consistent. Number 5, be attentive. Number 6, be willing to adapt. Number 7, be patient. And then number 8, have fun. You gotta have fun. Everything I do, if it's not going to be fun, I'm not going to do it. Yes, I sell life insurance. Yes, I sell supplemental health insurance. Is that as fun and sexy as podcasting? No, but it's fun in the fact that when I leave that family's home, when I get off the phone from that client and know that they have peace of mind, that makes me feel good. And that's fun for me. It's fun that I'm able to put people in benefits. So you got to have fun. So here's what we're going to do. Now, all of these aren't going to be necessary as I talk about how the podcast summit is and the plans and all of this came together. They're not going to necessarily be in order. But when this ebook comes out, everything will be in order and you're going to see how it flows together. But I just wanted to share some things. When I said, number 1, talk to and listen to God first. Folks, if you are not in alignment with God, if you don't have scriptures, biblical scriptures that you read and pour into your mindset every morning when you wake up, before you hit the ground running, try and put the word of God in your mindset, in your heart and spirit before you even get into the busyness of your day. You have to do that, folks. I'm telling you, you're just not going to have the peace and the clarity that God wants you to have if you don't do that. Okay, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you about something that I heard. I'm telling you about something that I know and that I employ every day. And our team does too. We are all in sync with that. Okay, talk to and listen to God first. So and I said talk to, because we like to tell God we want to do this and we want to do that. And I want to do this and I want to do that. And then just stop there as if God is supposed to just go by your plan. No, no, no. Yes, you can share your ideas. Share the plan on January 20th, 23, which is what we did. We shared the plan. David Shands came up. We talked on the telephone. We came up with the plan that day, the date, lined it up. And all I needed to do is just confirm with the location and this and that. And it was on and popping on January 20th, 2023. Okay. It really was. Okay. Now, but I had to listen to God too, in terms of how this was going to play out. What goals did I want to put in place? So that's the next one. You got to set goals. You've got to set goals. We had some goals. Now we exceeded some goals and we came real short with other goals. Okay. The financial goals in terms of the number of big sponsors that we wanted to have and that sort of thing, we came very short with that. Okay. The number of people, we had set a goal of 150 people. 150 people for our podcast summit. We over exceeded that. Okay. Standing room only. Absolutely standing room only. So we over exceeded that. Okay. So the goals were 150 people. And initially our goals were to have 10 vendors. Okay. Once we saw the venue and how things can be put together, we upped that up and said, 20 vendors. Guess what? We had 18 vendors. No, 19 vendors. Okay. Actually, we ran out of room. We couldn't have had 20. We would have had to just, double share with someone. Okay. Someone else's table. But that was a goal that we set. Okay. Keep in mind that these are some strategies, 8 proven strategies that were inspired from the Podcast Summit Tour here in Augusta, Georgia. Talk to and listen to God first. You got to do that. Okay. And then setting the goals were set once that date was put in place and the time, it was on and popping from then. Okay. Build a loyal team. Now, in our case, my team has already been in place. So for those of you just getting started if your team, at first it was a team of 2, and then it became for us, and then for me, it became a team of 3, then a team of 4. Now it's a team of 5, and that's including me. Okay. And they've got to be loyal. They've got to see into your vision. And if it's your sister, your cousin, your best friend, your business partner, people who you hang with, you guys share your dreams together. That is so important so that everybody will be on the same page. Everybody on my team, they know exactly what I would say, how I would respond to things, how to respond to an issue at the event, and I'm not there to say whatever. They know exactly, okay, Helen would say this, so this is how I need to handle this. You got to have a loyal team. You've got to have a loyal team. We're talking about putting together a successful event, a successful project. That project can be anything, starting a business. It could be anything, having a project at your job, a project that you have to do for your church, a project that you want to have. These are some strategies, some proven strategies. Here's another one. You've got to be consistent. Okay, so from January 20th all the way up to the date of the event, we were consistent in our messaging. We were consistent in reaching out to people. We were consistent and deliberate in reaching out to people and finding people and making sure that we reached as many people who are in that space, whether they're a podcaster or content creator, and keep in mind, for whatever your project is, whoever your target market is, that's where you got to go. I found myself going on Facebook one day and reaching out to, because I'm not a part of a lot of podcast groups. Why? I just never was. Well, I am now. And then entrepreneurial business groups on Facebook. All of those are targeted information. So go in there, get the ask. Now, when you have an event, and this particular event was free to the public, okay? It was free to the public. So a lot of times the admin people don't mind if you do that. Sometimes, if you go in there and you just jump on there for the first time, then you got a high ticket item of $100, they might just not even post that for you, okay? So you got to be strategic, but you got to be consistent. We were consistent. We were consistent in having conversations on a regular daily basis of what was going on, who needed to do what. And that's where your loyal team comes to play. Okay. Be attentive. And what I mean by that is you've got to pay attention to what's going on around you in the space as you're putting these, as the everything for your event, as at your event, as it's unfolding. You got to be attentive. And what we were attentive to the fact that there were people out there that I'd never met before. But I know that they were associated with someone else that I knew. And I knew that they were in the podcast space. They may not have known I was in the podcast space, but I reached out to them. I messaged them. I went inside my Facebook Messenger and reached out and say, hey, I'm Helen. You may know me from this or that. You may not know about this event. You've got to be attentive to the fact that, oh, you know what? This person might be a good person to invite to this event. What do you have to lose? Now, is this time consuming? Absolutely. You got to carve out days in your time in your day. Mine was early in the morning where I was doing this, looking and researching and finding this and digging for that and being attentive and paying attention to what was around me and paying attention to other events that were coming up and how I can be able to identify potential vendors, so you got to be attentive. Okay. So we have gone through number one, talk to and listen to God first. Set goals, build a loyal team, be consistent, be attentive. These are 8 proven strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour in Augusta. And the next one is number 6 is be willing to adapt. Man, as we got closer and closer to the date and we had our catering done, we got the amount for the catering, we've got the amount for the cost of the croc center, we've got the amount of other expenses. And so we had different things that we were utilizing in terms of how we were gathering the VIP registrations and the sponsors and the vendors, and all of those dollars were what we used to pay for the expenses. So we didn't lose any money. I mean, we broke even. So we did come short in terms of our initial goals. We had some very ambitious goals of X number of sponsors and this and that, but it's all good. That's where you got to be willing to adapt. Okay, so we pulled back and it's like, okay, we're not going to get the excess that we're looking for. Let's just zero in to make sure that we've got the number of vendors that we needed to offset our expenses, all the way down to the cost of the security for that night, which we had to have cash money in an envelope, and I handed it to him, and I know he was a happy camper because he made, a nice change that night. Okay, so you got to be willing to adapt. Okay, were we disappointed that we didn't raise or over exceed the amount of revenue that we wanted so that we can use that to take care of some other things outside of the summit? Silly, we weren't. We were like, you know what? Hey, this is going to be a successful event because it was very important for us to cross every T, dot every I to make this the best. Our goal was that this tour stop was going to be the best out of the 8. And we're going to refill that way. And there's 5 that haven't even taken place yet. Okay. The next one is, and we're almost wrapping up as we wrap up today, episode 59. Now we're going back. Elevate your next project. 8 proven strategies inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour here in Augusta. Number 7, have patience. You got to be patient. You got to be patient with people, because I'm telling you, for those of you who are organizing events, and many of you that are watching and listening, you've organized events in your respective cities. And when you're reaching out to a vendor or getting sponsored, you got to follow up. You got to follow up. You got to follow up. You got to make sure that you have certain deadlines of when the money needs to be paid so that you can take care of your event. And sometimes you got to be patient with folks because they will test your patience, okay? But the bottom line is, whatever your goals were, and going back to talking and listening to God first, all of that is the undergirding of the God-like spirit you need to have so that you can maintain that patience. Because if you're not aligned with God, and you notice I had that first, then you're going to get mad at people. You're going to get upset. You're going to say something that you're going to regret later. And the bottom line is, don't you want to have a successful event? Don't you want to have a successful project? So we were patient and we just kept moving. You can get upset or impatient sometimes with your team. Okay. And all of us, we know our different personalities and we know how to pull back. But, I have to admit, we were a symphony. The Reset to Reinvent podcast team, we were a symphony, a beautiful symphony as we put this thing together. And I just came up with that just now, y'all. Okay. Number 8, you got to have fun. Folks, we had fun. We worked our tail off. There's no doubt about it. From the time that we all had different assignments for that day. And my assignment was to meet at the TV station where David Shands and Donnie was going to have an interview. And I was there where I needed to be for that. And then from there, the rest of the team, they were at the Croc Center with their respective assigned activities and tasks, and we got it done. But we had fun. We did work our tail off. And at the end of the day, by the time the day is over, that's what you want. You want to be able to look back and say, man, this is what we did. This is what we did. This is what we accomplished. And think about it in life as we wrap up today's episode. We only have one life. You only have this opportunity today, at this moment, to be the best that you can be. And using strategies like what I've just shared can be able to help you along the way. Or I certainly hope you can use these. God gave me this morning as I'm getting ready to prepare to head to church, but I'm recording this prior to headed to church this morning for this episode to drop. But I just felt like, God, there was so many people that have been reaching out, and we wanted to let people know. I mean, we were very proud of how everything came together. And so we want to share. And that's what we're doing on this episode. We are sharing. So if you want to elevate your next project, these are 8 proven strategies that were inspired by the 2026 Podcast Summit Tour in Augusta, the David Shands Podcast Summit Tour. And the 8 cities, these 8 proven strategies, there's something to that. It's a new beginning. So if you're looking for a new beginning, if you're looking at starting a podcast, you can even reach out to us. We've got if you want to do a podcast consultation, reach out to us. We can put some stuff together for you and help you out. Okay. Reset to reinvent at gmail.com. Just reach out to us and let's respond, and we can be able to help you out. But guys, life is good. Life is good. And for those of you who are looking for and need hope and need inspiration, this podcast, Reset to Reinvent podcast, is for you. Make sure you go and subscribe. Go to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe on Apple or Spotify if you're listening. Wherever you listen or watch, we want you to be able to do that so that you can get episodes every Monday. The month of May is coming up. The month of May is Mother's Day month. It's also my birthday month. May 1st is my birthday. Yes, 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 yes. And everybody that knows me knows I celebrate all month long. Okay. The month of May is also, I believe, Mental Health Month. So we're going to be covering some things, and we've got some speakers and guests as part of our episodes in the month of May. And I want to go ahead and give you a little snap, a little tidbit of the month of June. The month of June, of course, is Father's Day month, of course, and it's also Men's Health Month. Men's Health Month. And we've got some men scheduled for the month of June. So these next 2 months are just going to be absolutely amazing, like all of the rest of the episodes, okay? And if you have any ideas, any topics that you would like for us to cover, shoot us an email to reset to reinvent at gmail.com and let us know, and we'll see if we can make that happen, or even potential guests that we can have on our episodes. We've just got so much that we want to be able to share, but I hope today has been really, really inspirational for you, because I want to let you know that you can, and you know what, let me just mention this, and then we're definitely going to go, is that we started from zero. We didn't have a budget. We started from zero. After Shands and I put together the date and all of that, and then he gave me the different, and then I got a contract a few days later, and this is what they needed, and this and that, and this and that. We started from zero. Were we worried about where we going to get the money to do this and pay for the Croc Center and pay? No. Why? Because we talked and listened to God first. We talked and listened to God first. And then we set our goals. And then we put the plan together and we went and made it happen. That's what you've got to do. But it starts with on a daily basis. Family, on a daily basis. You've got to have certain scriptures that's yours, that you can call yours, that's needed to get your day going in a positive way so that you and our Lord is are on the same page. Okay, that's so important. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. Definitely, if you want to get a copy of this ebook that we're putting together as we speak, I want you to send us an email saying, yeah, Helen, I want to get a copy. Okay. Reset to reinvent at gmail.com. Have yourself a wonderful, blessed week as we wrap up the entire month of April, and have a wonderful, blessed day. And you know what? You deserve to be inspired.
Ladies, are you a woman in the middle of an unwanted reinvention? Maybe you have experienced a significant disruption, the death of someone central to your identity, a sudden career loss, a divorce, a health crisis, or a role like motherhood or caregiving that has ended or shifted. You're not in an acute crisis, but you feel stuck, functional on the outside, but hollow on the inside. We really need to talk. Click on the coaching link found in my footer or my bio. I look forward to chatting with you soon.